Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
कीता लोड़िए कम सो हर पै आखिए कारज दे सवार सतगुर सच साखिए संता संग निधान अमृत चाखिए पै पंजन मेहरवान दास की राखिए नानक हर गुण गाए अलख प्रभ लाखिए अलख प्रभ लाखिए दंडोत बंधन अनक बार सर्व कला समरथ डोलन ते राखो प्रभु नानक दे कर हाथ नानक दे कर हाथ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠੀ ਹੋਈ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਫਤਿਹ ਗਾएं ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। We're getting through Anand Sahib slowly but surely. We've got up to the 25th Pauri last week, where Maharaj started to go through. They said that the Guru Shabad is like a jewel. Gur ka shabad tan hai. And they said not only is it a normal jewel, but this is a jewel that has diamonds on top of it. We talked about what is that. Maharaj says, Aape hira ratan aape jisnu dehe bujai. He is that, he is that jewel which is the Shabad. But also he is that hira jinu asi keh sakde ki gurmukh hove. The person who is taken on that jewel, who is the walking, talking Gurmukh, that person becomes like an embodiment of Vaheguru. And for us, he is both of those. He is both Gursikhi and Gurbani, and also the Sikh themselves, the Gurmukh. Jisnu dehe bujai. The person who is blessed gets to understand this. They understand that actually Vaheguru is all of these things. Koi fark nahi. It may look like God is separate from the world. It may look like He's not here, but He's available in both written down form, as in Vaho Vaho Bani Nirankar hai. He's also available in physical form, in Tan Guru Granth Sahib Ji, in all the Gurus, and now all the Gursikhs are the form of the Guru as well. So the whole world is looking for the Guru, but the Panj Pyare, they actually are the Guru. And also no ajkal pargat nahi hege, oh dikhde nahi. And also then, he is in that Nirankar Roop still. He's still Alep. He's all of these things and he's none of those things. Because he's Alep, he's separate from the world. He sits out there looking down at us. And he's watching us as well. So only those people that are blessed understand this. That sab kuch hi Vaheguru hai. We related this Pauri to the Pauri in Japji Sahib, where Maharaj says that Amrit Vela Sachanao Vadiyai Vichar. Then Maharaj says Karmi Ave Kappada Nadri Mokh Dwar. And then Nanak Eva Jaannee Sab Aape Satyar. In this way we find out that everything is Satyar. Everything is Vaheguru. Who are blessed with this path. Then Maharaj says Kya hai Nanak Savar Tan hai Hira Jit Jadao. The Gurmukh is the Jadao, the Hira that is on that Shabad, which is also Jew. Now, just to quickly talk about the word Gurmukh, because it comes up at the next body. Normally it's translated that the Gurmukh, Mukh means your face, Mukhada, and then you've got your Guru. Ek paase Manamukh, that means that you're facing your mind. Duje paase, you're facing your Guru, Gurmukh. So, when there is a conflict, it depends on which way you're facing, which way you listen to, which way you walk. Even it's very hard for us to walk sideways. If we're looking that way, walking that way is very hard for us. So we're naturally made with the eyes at the front of our face. So we're meant to walk where we're looking. So obviously if we're facing our Guru, then we're going to walk towards him, walk upon the Guru's path. But if we're facing our mind, then we're going to end up walking that way. But another meaning of the word mukh, because you know the word mukh is seen as Punjabi's mukhi, our head, our senior. Even mukh sevadar kende hege loki. So mukh sevadar. So here the mukh means senior. Sab to senior jada hega. Kinu dekh rahe hain, who's our head? The Gurmukh keeps the Guru at the senior point. Ki Guru mera mukhi hai, Guru is my leader, I follow my Guru. And jada manmukh hega, he goes mera man mukhi hai. My mind is my senior, my mind is my boss, and I follow my mind. Matlab man marzi. Yani Kulwant Singh was here, and he was talking about what it means to be a Gurmukh and a Manmukh. And he said the main thing that a Manmukh does is apni man marzi karda hai. The Manmukh follows whatever their mind wants. Today they feel like doing something, wake up in the morning, they want to watch TV. Next they want to wake up in the morning, go for a run. Whatever their mind desires, they do that. But the Gurmukh wakes up in the morning, and he goes, go read my Bani first. Pehle naam japna, fir Bani padna. So this is when man marzi comes over, the Gurmukh keeps the Guru at the senior position. So then we come to the 26th Pauri of Anand Sahib. Anand Sahib, the Mahatma bhi dasna chahta, I will do it at the end. But a Gursikh this week said to me, make sure you mention this, so I will mention it. Because Maharaj speaks from many directions. Hai na? Gurmukh ki to Maharaj ji hai. He said, yaad kara dena sangat nu. Let them know that Japji Sahib is supposed to give us Brahm Vichar, Brahm Gyan. Same way with Jap Sahib is supposed to create that love because you're worshipping him. Yeah? You're singing to him, you're praising him. And then Svaiye are supposed to knock away our ego. Now Chaupai Sahib is meant to, is supposed to reduce us to the point where we start asking for Benti, but also gives us Biras, warrior spirit. But then Anand Sahib chills us down a little bit, but also gives us Mukti. Anand Sahib, if read properly, is supposed to give us Mukti. Because all the Gyan is now created into a song. Japji Sahib is reflected in Anand Sahib, but Anand Sahib is more of a song, so when you can put your heart into it. In fact, it's telling you to sing in Anand Sahib. It's saying, Aavo Sikh Sadgur ke pyareo, Gaavo Sachi Bani. So it's encouraging you to sing from the first place, and it's taking you to that Mukti Dwara. If you look at the Prashad, we ask for Prashad for Maharaj. The Prashad is supposed to be made with Anand Sahib as well. Pura Anand Sahib. So this Bani is put into the Prashad, because when we have that Prashad, then we're supposed to get Gur Prasad. Gur Prasad is Mukti anyway. Je naam mil gaya. So this Bani is all about, if you look in this Bani, you will find 3 recurrent themes. Such, always such, the truth. You will find the theme of love, pyar. It's going to come up in this body as well, coming up. And then you'll also find that Shabad. Shabad is all the time talking about Shabad, Shabad, Shabad. If you look at those 3 things, they're very related. If you have the truth, Sachi Bani, then you have the Shabad. And when you sing the Sachi Bani, you will get love. And with love, you will find Vaheguru. So these 3 things always come up in Anand Sahib. And especially in these Pauris we're going through right now. So Maharaj in the 26th Pauri starts to go through this. They say, Siv Sakhat Aap Upaae ke Karta Aape Hukam Varataae Hukam Varataae Aap Vekhai Gurmukh Kisai Bujaye Tode Bandhan Hove Mukt Sabad Man Vasaye Gurmukh Jisno Aap Kare So hove ekas syo liv laye Keh Nanak Aap Karta Aape Hukam Bujaye. Maharaj says, Siv Sakhat Aap Upaae ke Karta Aape Hukam Varataae. Karta is the main person we're talking about here in this body. The main person is Akal Purukh, the creator. Siv Sakti. This is the word Maharaj is talking about. Siv Sakhat Aap Upaae ke. Upaae means to create. So Aape himself, he has created Shiv Shakti. Now what is Shiv Shakti? Because when people hear this word Shiv, they get scared. Even Jaannee was talking on a stage. that in Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji's time, there was a Pandit that came to meet them, and he wanted to impress Maharaj, and he said, let me do the Katha of some Puran. There was one of the Hindu books. He did Katha of that Ved or one of the Purans. And he said nowadays people will get scared of this. They will say, oh no, you can't do that. But actually Vidvans of every Panth should be welcome to the Gurdwara to come and express their doctrines so we can discuss them. Shiv Shakti is a very old concept. The people that don't study this nowadays, they don't understand what it relates to. But it's a very old concept, and it's not just a concept that is in Hinduism, it's in many religions. I'm going to relate it today to Descartes as well, who is the father of modern philosophy. ठीक है ना? What Shiv Shakti refers to is that you've got two things in the world. And it's hard to understand how these two work. The first thing you've got is matter. Panch Tatta Sarir, body, matter, physical things. And ukelo Shiv. Shakti. You've got this Shakti, energy. We know all of matter is actually energy at a scientific level as well. Moving below the speed of light is matter. So everything out here, physically, that physics can study, is called matter. And only Shakti kehta Maharaj ne. So tite Shakti hai, there's Sahari there, it's actually Shakti, but you don't pronounce it. So Shakti is energy. We know that anyway because of power. Now, what Shiv is supposed to be is a spirit soul. Talk about consciousness, Karo. Consciousness, but more than consciousness, because it means the soul itself. And now you've got two things. We know that we are made of this infinite Akal Purakh. We are like a little seed that comes out of Vaheguru. Inside us is that same light. Sab mein hai jyot, jyot hai soe, tiske chanan, sab mein hai chanan hoye. So this jyot is inside us, it's a light of Vaheguru. But it doesn't seem to exist in the material world. When you cut the body open, you can't find the jyot. Even Maharaj says the homme is not to be found in the body as well. So you can chop your body into pieces, but you won't find that homme male. He says, and Sukhmani Sahib Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, that you can cut the body into pieces, but the homme will not leave the body. So, what is this soul, which is not physical? This is called Shiv. Shiv here refers to the spirit world, Kalo. So, for us, the soul is like the baby seed of Vaheguru. If you look at a tree, a big tree, and it drops a seed, that seed itself has all the qualities of that tree. It has the potential to become a full tree, which reflects that one that it came from. So it has all the qualities, but it is not yet Puran. When it grows as a seed, it's nothing. Then from the seed, it grows into a little sapling, and it's green. And you can sort of start to see the potential, but it's not really like that. And look at the ansh of Vaheguru. Inside us is that soul, which is the ansh of Vaheguru. Ram ka ansh comes up in Bani. That this soul is Ram ka ansh. It's actually a baby or a descendant of Vaheguru. It includes our consciousness and it includes our subconsciousness. If you imagine what's inside us, deep down within us is that jyot. But around it is a lot of other things. Firstly, we've got our karma that we've earned our previous lifetimes. That's attached to it as well. Then we've got the karma we're earning right now. That's attached to our soul as well. The soul itself is pure light, pure consciousness, pure love. But now it has to go through different karmas because it's got its own destiny written into its own because of what our previous actions were. And on top of that, it's also got the physical body and what's attached to it in the physical body. And we, in a way, are floating between these three things. We've got the soul. If we can connect to it, we become one with Vaheguru. But also, we've got all our previous current consciousness, the mind. And the mind is kind of like in between the physical body and the soul. So where these two interact, you've got the mind. Now why I said I might relate it to Descartes, because I studied him at university. Descartes is seen as Descartes people sometimes mispronounce his name because he's French, innit? But he wrote that book, when the famous quote, I think therefore I am. And he was trying to work out who he is as well. Because he had this moment when he was trapped. He was hiding inside an oven. The French Revolution was going on. and they were killing all the senior people, all the bureaucrats, all the aristocracy. And Descartes came from aristocratic family, and they were going to kill him as well. And they put him, he hid inside an oven. You know the big Aga ovens? He hid inside one of those. When he was in there, he had an experience, spiritual experience. And he now understood that he is the soul. The soul is infinite, but somehow it's attached to the body. And what he said is, the soul is like a captain in a ship. The asal cheese, jadi hagi andar, it's like a captain in a ship. The captain is separate from the ship, but he is guiding the ship. And the body is a ship, he was saying. And he said the milap, the joining of these two, happens here. Right in the center of the brain, pineal gland. He said that is where the body attaches to the mind. For us, Dasam Dwar is here as well. This connection. And in that connection of the Shiv Shakti, the soul and the body and matter, these 5 bodies, our mother and father, they procreated, they created us. We've come out of them. Our genetic makeup is made up from them. Our physical body is made up of them. But inside us is a soul that is not, it is not either of those. It's got its own karma. Although obviously for some reason it's linked to these 2 people that we've got. So with this male gale, we've got this body now that is our carrier of our soul. And the soul is inside it, but it's also separate from it. And the mind is that joining part now. The mind connects the 2, physical body and the soul. And within this game of the mind can get confused. Either the mind can start getting attached to the body, because it's attached to the body anyway, it's made up of these 2 things. It starts getting attached to the body, and then it's only absorbed in the ras of the body, the physical rases. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. These are the lowest forms of that. But also it can be attached in, say, intellectual study. Maharaj is telling us that it can be attached in many different things. In this body, next body, Maharaj is going to talk about the 3 guns of Maya. So it can be attached in these things, but also it can be separate from those things and start to look at the other side, what it also came out of, the soul. And if it starts to look towards the soul, starts to focus upon Waheguru Akal Purkh, where it has come out of him. Jiste upajaya nanaka, soi phir hoa. It starts to look at where it came out of, Akal Purkh, that is a sapling, and it starts to nourish that sapling within itself. And then that soul, then that mind can start to become a Gurmukh mind. So it has to either goes downwards, or is stuck in itself, or it goes upwards towards Akal Purkh Waheguru. And Maharaj says the Karta, Aape, Hukam, Varataae. He's created these 2 things, this physical matter and this spiritual matter. The spiritual matter is come out of him, and the physical matter has come out of him. Don't start thinking that Waheguru is Nirankar only. Some people, the Nirankaris, Nakli Nirankaris, they start to say the physical matter does not affect Waheguru. Do what you like, they say. Just do Naam Japana. Physically you can drink, you can do whatever you like, you can mess about, there's no rules in this world. Nay. He's made both these things, and they both have a system to work. And that system can be the Hukam. The system that Akal Purkh is made, the Hukam, that we've come out of. Maharaj says, Karta, Aape, Hukam, Varataae. Akal Purkh has made these things, and then now he's made this Hukam which makes these things work. Now the Hukam is very deep, has many meanings. One meaning of the word Hukam can be the law of physics as well. The Hukam of the physical matter has been given to us, the laws of physics. When we study that if you push this way, something will move away, there will be an equal and opposite reaction to what you do. Those are laws of physics. But also, the Hukam is not just silent. Physics is a silent law. You must discover the law by doing experiments, find out what the law is. It doesn't speak for itself. But this Hukam speaks. Dekho Maharaj is telling us कि हाँ आपको बोलना जानदा मैं कहया सब हुक्म आओ जियो. It's saying, why Guru says, I don't know how to speak, Guruji is saying. But what I do, Maharaj says, I don't know how to speak, but whatever I say is hukam. I'm speaking from the hukam. So the hukam is speaking to us right now. Gurbani is the Hukam. Eko naam Hukam hai, Nanak Satgur diya bujhai jiyo. The Guru is teaching us what the Hukam of Waheguru is. That's when we asked him in the beginning, Japji Sahib, we say, Maharaj, Kiv sachiyara hoiye, Kiv kude tutte pal. Say, Maharaj, how can I become true? How can I break this wall between me and you? The Maharaj says, Hukam rajai chalna, Nanak likhya na. It says, walk in the Hukam, I've written it down for you. Ode naal challo, kera Hukam? Gurbani. Likhya hoya Hukam. The Hukam speaks. It spoke to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj and they wrote it down for us. Naam is a Hukam as well. Bani is Naam. Bani is teaching Hukam. And in this way, Naam is a Hukam as well. Ki Eko Naam Hukam hai. It's the Hukam for us to do Naam and also the words of Waheguru. The Hukam of Waheguru is actually Naam. Now when we say, how does that work? Naam ke tare sagal akar. The whole world is supported by Naam. And we know that the laws of physics are supporting the whole world as well. So Naam is the laws of physics as well. There's a physical law inside us, a spiritual law up here. These laws are part of the way that we work. We have a soul and it has its own law. We have the law of karma. Obi kya lo. Imagine everything that we do is being recorded. Everything I think, everything I say is being recorded. Where is it being recorded? I can't see it. Where is the database that records all of these things? Well, my soul has a database. Akal Purakh has created this system where everything is being recorded. Sade vaste, we have to invest in massive servers. We have to invest in all these things to record things. Now people are starting to put on these goggles that will record their life for them and it will be synced to the cloud. Maharaj Akal Purakh has already made that system. Everything we're looking out of our eyes, he's looking out of our eyes. We're doing something with our hands, he's recording everything that happens with our hands. He's thinking and seeing in our mind what's going on. Kive hoya? Siv Sakhat aap Upaae ke Karta Aape Hukam Varataae. Vartana means to use something, to distribute and to control something. Vartani. Koi cheez vartani means that you're using it. He is using this hukam to fulfill his command. He's making this system fulfill his command. And we are trapped within it like a gerbil in a wheel. Aapa nahi nikal sakde. Yeah? Hukam hai andar sab ko, bahar hukam na koi. We can't get out of this. The Maharaj said, Nanak hukam hai je bujhe, ta hum mein kehna koi. If somebody understands now, all of a sudden they understand hukam. If they suddenly understand that I am part of this system and everything is, the system is created by Waheguru. My parents are part of that system, Akal Purakh created them. My family, my friends, my job, my brain, my education, everything was given to me by Akal Purakh Waheguru. They suddenly have that insight. Oh my God, Waheguru, you done all of this. Main kuch nahi kita. Then what will they say? Hukme, Nanak hukme je, bujhe, ta hum mein kehna koi. Then they will not speak in ego. और कहेंगे कि मैं कुछ किया ना कहेंगे हाँ ना कहेंगे मैं की कहेंगे तू 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 करता तू हुआ मुझ में रहा ना हूँ. When we start to understand he's in charge, we won't then be arguing with everything. We will accept what's going on. We'll try our best, but we won't be sitting there stressed all the time. Maharaj says next, Hukam Varataae aap vekhye, Gurmukh kise bujhaae. They say that he is enforcing his order. His hukam is being set into motion, Hukam Varataae, and then Aape vekhye. He is himself watching all of this. One thing, he started the game going, like a computer game. You're playing the computer game rules are made for you. But now he's watching the computer game being played as well. We're the character on the screen, and we think we're jumping around, we're doing all these things, but he's got all the controllers in his hand, and he's watching the game as well. है ना? ਅਸੀਂ ਨੱਚਦੇ ਆਂ ਟੱਪਦੇ ਆਂ, we think we're doing something. He's watching all of this game on his screen, and he's got billions of screens, every single person on there playing their game, but he's controlling all of them. He's got 6 billion controllers, and the character in the game thinks I'm alive, I'm separate. ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ We're all part of that jot. But we're stuck in that mind. The mind has not travelled towards the jot inside it. It's still stuck in the mind. It's still trying to be clever. It's still trying to play this game its own way. It knows what it should do, should trust the Akal Purakh. It knows what it should do, wake up in the morning and start to do Paath and Bani and start to purify itself towards Vaheguru. But it's still attached to its ego. It still wants to do something its own way. You say to somebody, start doing your Paath in the morning, they go, I haven't got time. They started with how, innit? They started with I, me. I, me is a separation. They started with I. They don't say, Guru, I should make time. They don't say, if Guru Sahib blesses me, in the morning I will do my Nityanim. No, they say, I haven't got time. Many people in this world are thinking they know how to live this life. Jivain, they know how life was made, as if they are the creator of this life. But if He is the creator, if He is the Karta, then we shouldn't be thinking about how we should live this life ourselves. We should be asking Him, how should I live this life? Tusi zindagi banai, tusi daso main kivein jeevaं. And Maharaj tells us ki Akha jeevaं visre mar jao. He say, if you say Vaheguru, you're already alive. If you forget Him, you're like dead. Tusi mari gaye. You're living, but Maharaj, as far as Maharaj is concerned, we're dead. So, if we start to understand the Hukam, Maharaj says, Hukam Varataae Aap vekhya Gurmukh kise bujaye. And देखो आज भी संगत कट गई. और हमारे से किसे means विरले के very few. किस नु समझांदा आएगा. Very few people get to understand this. Some people are now out and about. Very few people come here today as well. See how funny it is, it worked out as well. When I say very few people get to understand this bit, that वो आपे ही देख रहा है, आपे ही करा रहा है काम, आपे ही देख रहा है सब कुछ. And very few people get to understand this is happening in the first place. That the character on the screen who's playing the game, very few characters get to look back and see the person, the controller in his hand. Very few characters on that computer screen will get to understand that they are characters. They don't realize, they think they are real, but they understand, I'm just a computer game, I'm just a character, I'm a bit player. When you're a bit player, then you don't worry about the consequences. Samajh rahe ho? If He's in control, why should I worry? Maharaj says in Astideva, they go, So karta chinta kare jin upaya jag. So karta, the creator, let him worry, let him do chinta. Onu chinta karando, jin upaya jag. The one who made the world, let him worry. Why should I worry? There was once a time that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj said to his sons, they said, Sangat is too much now, we haven't got enough food, go to that tree, shake it and bring some mithai down for the Sangat. Now the sons said to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, because they were quite old at this time, they said, Guru, this can't happen, that tree is not a fruit bearing tree, it doesn't have the fruit that we can eat. Maharaj said to his sons, Tusi kar lo. They said, nah, you've lost it. Tusi bade ho gaye. Bani se likhya hai ki Gurmukh never become budde. Kade nahi budde honde. But they said to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, you must be wrong, we must be right, the mind must be right, Guruji, they said, must wrong. There can't be fruits on that tree. Then Maharaj looked to Upaae Lena Ji. Upaae Lena Ji was sitting there in the Sangat. Maharaj said, in Ashara even. They said, ja, go like this. Upaae Lena ran over to the tree. On the way to the tree, people said to him, what are you doing? We were at the Mela. Imagine when Guru Sahib is speaking, there must be loads of people there, innit? But kafi honge. On the way to the tree, there was all the Sangat sitting around. And they were stopping Upaae Lena Ji. They go, tusi kamle ho gaye ho. Tada Guru kamla ho gaya, tusi bhi kamle ho gaye de naal. Your Guru has gone a bit crazy. He thinks there's fruit growing on that tree which doesn't have any fruit. Like imagine if I said to you, go to that pine tree and bring some fruit down. You know pine tree's got no fruit, it's only got cones. But fir bhi, the Guru has said so. So Upaae Lena Ji says, listen, my job is to go to the tree and shake it. It's Guru's job whether the fruit falls down or not. That's not my job. My job is to do what I've been told to do. Then the same way, what is our job in this life? Pai Lala Ji went there, he shook the tree, and just like Guruji has said, it came true. That the fruit fell down. Because when Ma Nanak Das Mukte Jo Bole, Iha Uha Sach Hove. Whatever he says will come true. It's our faith that falls short. It's our faith, our man marzi that makes us think that no, they can't work that way. If he says do something, our job is to do it, not to sit there worrying about whether it will happen or not. Too many warriors. Singh said with his own mouth the other day, he goes, you know, our Panth, it used to be warriors. Now they're warriors. Ki ho gaya sade naal? We worry all the time. Maharaj says, Nanak chinta mat karo. Do not worry. What do? All day long, worry, worry, worry. So Guru Sahib is telling us ki he is watching all of this. Hukam Varataae. His hukam is working. Aape. He's watching what we do, whether we listen to his hukam or not. The game is only to please him. The game is not to please the world. We're not here to please the world. We're not here to win for the world. We're here to win our Guru's khushiyan. All we're here to do is do what our Guru told us to do. Gaha is in his hands, what happens? So, Hukam Varataae, Aap Vekhya, Gurmukh Kise Bujai. Very few Gurmukhs get to understand this, that he is doing all of this. And if they get to understand this, Orne Aape Gurmukh ban jana. If they get to understand this Hukam, they will become Gurmukhs anyway. Because they will stop worrying and they will start thanking, they will start living in Naam. So the game is to understand the Hukam. And then when we get rid of the ego and we start saying Tuhi, you're in control, Waheguru, you are making all of this happen, you are sitting behind me, you are sitting by my side, you are making me go forwards, if you stop me, you are making me go backwards. Then they start to lose all of the ego and all they say is Sab Gobind hai, Sab Gobind hai, Gobind bin nahi koi. Nothing but him anyway in the first place. Sab Aape Sachiya. So Maharaj says, this is the kirpa. If we understand this, it comes with Shabad. The Shabad is here to teach us these things. If you had never read Asa Diwar, you would have never understood that part. So why is it important to read Bani? It's important to read Bani because Bani is explaining other Bani. Bani is explaining Guru's thinking. Guru da Vichar is inside Bani. And if we take that Vichar and put it into our life, we will be successful. So Maharaj says, Hukam Varataae, Aap Vekhya, Gurmukh Kise Bujai. Very few people will understand this. So therefore, we can't try and make everybody understand this. Hona hi nahi. We can try our best, but we will never succeed in convincing everybody because everybody thinks they know best. They don't trust Waheguru. They don't give in to Waheguru. All the time, we're trying to be clever. Clever. We don't just do what our Guru is telling us to do. So, if we follow our Guru, we will get that mat from him to trust Akal Purukh and go with his path. And Maharaj says, Tode bandhan hove mukt sabad man vasai. They will break their bandhan. What bonds will they break? We said earlier that the mind, it goes either way. Either towards the soul or it goes towards the body and the ras. Now the ras of the body, or the physical pleasures of this world, the physical things that we want, to look stylish, to go out there, look good, people look at us, admire us, look at our car, look at our house, look at our family, admire us for these things. This is all the things that we want for ourselves. But these are not the things that we need. What we need is Akal Purukh looking at us and being happy. What we need is us looking at Akal Purukh and being happy. Yeah? We can't see him, but he can see us. But the blessing would be if we can see him and he can see us. Hana? This is the blessing we can get from following Sikhi. Alak. Maharaj says in the beginning when I was reading out the little Parnam, there was a Bani, the Shabad that we sing many times at weddings, Kita Lodiye Kam, so Har Pe Akhiye. At the end of that Maharaj says, Nanak Har Gun Gaye, Alak Prabh Lakhiye. Nanak says, a promise from Guru Nanak Dev Ji to us. It's a promise, isn't it? Nanak says, Nanak Har Gun Gaye. If you sing the praise of Akal Purukh Waheguru, Alak Prabh Lakhiye. That Alak means invisible. Prabhu is Alak, he is invisible. But Lakhiye means you see him. That invisible Waheguru that you can't see right now, He will make Himself be shown to you. You will see Him and you fall in love with Him. So this is the kirpa of Guru Shabad. So Maharaj says, Tode bandhan. What happens is, the person starts to break their link with their body. This is the bandhan of the Maya. Maya is another word for the Panch Tat. Shakti is another, Maya is another word for that. So when they talk about Maya, they also mean this physical world. And what happens is we break away from the bonds of the physical world. The mind starts to be attracted towards the soul and no longer attracted towards the body. And in doing this, it breaks the bonds. It can survive without food, much more than it could survive otherwise. It can have some sabr. Sabr means a bit of contentment and a bit of patience. It can start to not worry too much about people looking at it, people admiring the body. It doesn't care about those things. Nowadays, if people got 2 minutes spare in the car, they get the windscreen down, they start looking at themselves in the mirror. There's people in this country right now, they've got addiction to selfies. Ajdiga lelo. We all know what selfies are, taking a picture of yourself on the phone. Some people are going through de-addiction for selfies. Ek munda siga, not even a bibi, a guy. He was taking about 2,000 or 3,000 selfies a day. Jinda si ki selfie linda? Was he living or was he just taking selfies all day long? What's going on with ourselves? Why are we so addicted to telling other people what we're doing? Why are we not looking inside? Andar Akal Purakh baithaya. Inside of us is Akal Purakh Waheguru, but we're too addicted looking at the outside. Then the mind, if the mind is convinced, if the mind feels God through Shabad, it starts to look at Waheguru. Maharaj says this, Tode bandhan hove mukt. As we start to break the bandhan of Maya, we start to get trapped in this Maya. As we start to break these bandhans, then what will happen? We will get mukti. Because this is the mukti that we need. The mukti that we need is not necessarily liberation in the next life. That's going to come anyway. The mukti that we really need is that in this world, we start to become detached from the world. The world becomes like the kitchar. Kitchar means mud. The world is mud, but then we start to become like the lotus flower that shines even in the mud. So that if tomorrow something bad happens to you, you don't crumble, you are still happy. Pave jit hove pave har. Guru Sikh is happy. I'm alright. I've done what my Guru told me to do. This is how we should be living. If tomorrow something bad happens to a Gurmukh, the Gurmukh will not be as sad as all the family around that Gurmukh. If tomorrow something good happens to that Gurmukh, everybody's getting Vadaiya, the Gurmukh is still not too bothered. Why are these people not too bothered? Because they're getting the thing, they leave the world. Hukam, they start to follow the Hukam of Naam and they start to break their Maya, the bandhans of Maya. Tode bandhan hove mukt. And the way this happens and the nishani of this is Shabad man vasai. Then their mind is inside the Guru Shabad. Pave tan Guru Nanak keh rahe hege hain. Pave they're saying Waheguru, Waheguru. Pave they're saying Guru, Guru. Pave they're singing Bani. Even they could be doing all of these things. But their mind is involved in the Guru's teachings, the Guru's Shabad. Vichar bhi keh lo. If they're thinking about Guru all the time, their mind is in the Vichar of the Guru. But their mind is in Shabad. Shabad man vasai. Gyani Kulwant Singh Ji was talking to me about this. He said, look, imagine a driver in a car. The car, is our body. But we are the driver, we're separate. Now the thing is, take the car thing a bit further. Imagine you've got engine, you've got the gears and the connection, and then you've got the chakke, the wheels. Now the body is like the wheels, they make us go forward. And the mind is like all the connections, all the gear system. But the engine is the Atma. Why is the engine the soul? Because if you take the engine out, nothing works. And the same way this body physically is there, the brain has got brain cells, it's got nerves, it's got all the chemical connections inside our brain, all the neural patterns and everything else. But if you take the soul out, it just crumples. The minute Waheguru calls the soul back, the body just falls and it's totally wasted. You can't start it up again. You can't put a new soul in and say, let's start this body up again. You see the sci-fi movies, They go, it's a good body, let's put a new jyot in there. You know, get this person who's injured, transfer him into this physically good body. You can't do it. He made this happen. So, if he is like the engine, then the gears need to take the direction from the engine. Yeah? Need to connect to that and start looking towards Akal Purakh Waheguru, the soul inside us. Maharaj says, Gurmukh jisno aap kare, so hove ekasyo livlai. We said earlier that the nishani of that person is they attached to Shabad. If they attach to Shabad, then they become a Gurmukh. Because your mukh is also your mouth. And on their mouth is always Guru. On their mouth is always Bani. So Gurmukh ho gaye. Guru is the most senior person for them. They are facing the Guru, and now upon their mouth is always Guru. Then ho gaye na meanings of Gurmukh. And all these three help us to understand what we want to be in this world. So Gurmukh jisno aap kare. Now let it not happen that we start thinking that we become Gurmukhs, Aape. No. Maharaj is telling us, no, Gurmukh jisno aap kare. Now he's breaking our ego if we become too clever and start thinking I've become a Gurmukh. Maharaj says, no, you have not become a Gurmukh, you've been blessed to become a Gurmukh. Kirpa hui hai. Gurmukh jisno aap kare. Aape hi karda hai. He's watching all of this. Hukam Varataae aap vekhe. And now Gurmukh jisno aap kare. Then, so hove ekasyo livlai. Using the Shabad, if we start to focus upon Waheguru, we will start to fall in love with Waheguru. In the beginning we said the Shabad and love are related. Of course they're related. Shabad is Waheguru. If you use the Shabad, it will make you fall in love with God. So Gurmukh jisno aap kare, what happens? So hove ekas. Ekas means Akal Purakh, the one. Syon, with him, live lai. Live means love. So we will start to become attached in love to Akal Purakh Waheguru, and then we won't get ego, because we will start to say, you made me this. Ego is the biggest separation between us and Waheguru. Jab hum hote, tab tu nahi. He is not here when we are here. If we take I out, then he becomes here. Ab tu hi, main nahi. See how it works? So Maharaj is telling us all again and again, thank him for doing all of this. Don't worry about yourself and what you can do. Just do what you're told to do, and he will do the rest. Don't worry. When we get this kirpa, and we do this benti to Akal Purakh ki Maharaj minu charna vich rakho, make me a Gurmukh. Don't say, I want to be a Gurmukh. Say, Maharaj, make me a Gurmukh. Many people say, I want to do my part. I really want to be a Sikh one day. Oh bhi theek hai, they got the cha. But you know what we should tell them? Ardas karo, ki Guru Sahib, you make me a Gurmukh. Make me walk upon this path. Because we can take the ego out and accomplish it in both ways. Kita lodi kam, so har pe aakiye. If you want something done, say it to Waheguru. If you really want something done, then tell God, you do it. Because while we're doing it ourselves, we're only using our little bit of power. If we tap into that infinite power and we say, Maharaj, you do it, then he will do it. Aape karega. So we don't have to worry about the results. We got to ask, do ardas and do what we should do. And Akal Purakh ne aape kaam kara dena. If he doesn't do it, chill out. Oda hukam sega. So, Maharaj says, kya hai nanak aap karta, aape hukam bujaye. Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj is telling us that if we get the real kirpa of Akal Purakh, we will get to see this. We will get to see that he is the one who is doing everything. He is the one who is controlling all the hukam. When I say he, I don't mean that God is a male. What I say is because he is like our husband Lord. But he has got no, let not be any confusion, he has got no gender. Akal Purakh has got no gender. He is much female as he is male. He's beyond all of these things. So, in this way, if we get that insight. Now, one word about the insight. Imagine one day, you got to see the insight that it's all Waheguru. Say you did some Simran, Maharaj ne kirpa kiti, you suddenly got to see that Akal Purakh is in control. The invisible lines are everywhere and he's doing all of this, she is doing all of this. What would happen? You'd be totally in bliss, na? You'd be veparva. Nanak Bhagata Sada Vigas. They're always in bliss. And they would be totally veparva, they'd have no worries. Now this insight is very hard to maintain for a long time. Because if that insight stays with us, and we see the truth of what it is, we won't do anything. Papa kuch karna hi nahi, kare back hi karna koi na. She's in charge, he's in charge. So he lets us have a look at this, but he doesn't leave it there forever. Because he wants us to do something as well. Kuch to karna payega na. Otherwise we won't understand what life is about. The next body is going to go through what we should be doing. So, he gives us what we can cope with. And Jaap Sahib Maharaj says, Ke Sahib Dimag hai. He is the master, and he's got the best brain. Dimag means brain. Huh? He's very clever. So he only gives us what we can cope with. He doesn't give us all the insight all the time. We couldn't cope with it. He gives us what we can cope with. And then, if we grow ourselves spiritually, if we do more and more Bani, he will give us more and more insight. As we become more capable of handling the truth, he gives us more and more of that truth. He lets us see the Hukam. And then also, as we kill that ego and we earn the Shabad, then we fall closer and closer in love with Vaheguru. More and more love comes out of us. The Maharaj says, Simarat Saasatr Punn Paap Beechaarde Tatai Saar na Jaannee. Tatai Saar na Jaannee Guru Bajho Tatai Saar na Jaannee. Tihi Guni Sansar Param Sutta Sutya Rahan Vihani. Gur Kirpa Te Se Jan Jage. Jinna Har Man Vasya Bol Hai Amrit Bani. Keh Nanak So Tat Paae. Jisno Andin Har Liv Lage Jagat Rahan Vihani. Maharaj says, Simarat Saasatr Punn Paap Beechaarde Tatai Saar na Jaannee. Simritis and Shastras, religious books. This is not just talking about the Hindu religious books, it's talking about any religious books. Take the Sharia law, take the Sikh debates. What is this talking about? It's talking about people that are arguing about what is right and what is wrong. Punn and Paap. What is Punn and what is Paap? Can I do this? Can I not do this? If I do this, am I earning bad karma? If I do this, am I earning good karma? Maharaj says the whole world, all the religions, all the religious books in this world are starting, initially they have the truth in their hand. And what happens is they fall away from the truth and they start to think only about these two things. What should I do? What should I not do? Is this good or is this bad? Should I wash my hands this way? Should I wash my hands that way? Now, what happens is, as they fall into this world, they start to do arguments and vichar about the rules of that religion. Punn Paap are normally the rules. You get a rule book. You know what? Most people grab us and they go, can I do this? Can I do that? They don't mean, can I do this? Of course they can do it physically. What they mean is, if I do this, am I going to get punished? Loki only want to know what they can and can't do. What they mean is, what can I get away with? What can't I get away with? What will I get kutmar for? And what will I get away with? So Guru Sahib is telling us ki Simarat Saasatr Punn Paap Beechaarde. As we do vichar upon right and wrong, we forget Tatai Saar. Tat means the essence. The real essence of the world starts to get lost. Tatai Saar na Jaannee. We start to forget the real essence of this world, which is Akal Purkh Vaheguru and their Naam. Those are the only two truths upon this world. Vadi vadiyai ja vadda naam, vadi vadiyai ja sach niyam. The true justice is if we follow the Naam. The true justice is if we follow the Naam, it will burn away all the karmas. This Punn Paap Vichar is actually lower level thinking. Naam burns away all the Punn Paap. It destroys all the Paap and it takes us beyond Punn. So people start to argue about the rules and they forget to do Vichar of Naam and Shabad. Maharaj says, Tatai Saar na Jaannee Guru Bajho Tatai Saar na Jaannee. They forget the real essence of the world. And why does this happen? Because they haven't got a guru. They haven't got somebody who is enlightened, who can come and teach them the real essence of this world. If you look at the other religions upon this world, they only had one prophet really. We've been blessed that our guru is still here. If you ask the Muslims, they will say that Muhammad Sahib has come and gone. If you ask Christians, they will say Jesus came physically and he left as well. But a Sikh says, my guru is still here. Although they say Jesus is physically here, but our Guru is right here. Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is Akal Purkh's own light. Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj is Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They're here right now. So our Guru is here, and we can do namaskar to them in the same way we do namaskar to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. We can matha take to them. We can do dandot bandhan. We can lie down flat. We can do seva of our Guru. Our Guru is still here. So what happens is that because they start to forget the Guru is still here, because the Guru is no longer speaking to them. And they go, what is Guru speaking to you? Gurbani, we talked about last week, is not writings, although it's written down. Gurbani is speech. It's speech that is written down. Ilahi Bani is come down from Akal Purkh, and Guru Sahib is written down. Gurbani is a conversation between us and Akal Purkh. It is not just instructions. When we meet this Guru, the Guru speaks to us. Hukamnama lalo, how does it get to us? We listen to it. Guru speaks and we listen. So Guru is always speaking. It's people that think that Guru Sahib does not speak. But our Guru is always speaking all the time. We have to listen. We have to open our ears. Even Japji Sahib Maharaj starts off by saying ki sune hai. Suno. Then manno. Sun ke fir manno and then fir karo. These three things are the essence of Sikhi. We have to listen. It's not enough for us to read Bani. We have to listen to what we're reading in the first place as well. We're just reading, we're not listening to it. So what happens is that people start to forget what the religion is really about. Even if you look nowadays our Gurdwara, we started sometimes to forget what the religion is really about. Naam is what this religion is all about. But if you walked into the Gurdwara, any Gurdwara, you won't get bombarded with Naam. You won't get told that your point of life is to do Naam. Otherwise, how come it was that so many of us were Monne before? Our parents brought us to Gurdwara all the time. But how come so many people who are now Amritari used to be Monne? Because when they came to Gurdwara, many Gurdwara across the world, they didn't get told what life is about. So they never followed it. Signuka last time he told his story over here as well. Satsangaji, only when the Gurdwaras start to become the places of Naam. When that happens, people walk in and they will see Naam, Pargat. And when they see that this Tatai, Saar, na Jaannee, Guru Bajo. If the Gurdwara is not a place of Naam, then what happens is, it's not a Gurdwara. Guru Sahib is telling us what a Gurdwara is. Maharaj says, Gurudwara hoye soji paisi. If you go to Gurdwara, you should get understanding about life. And what kind of soji, what will it do to us? What will this understanding do to us? Maharaj says, Et dware toye hacha hoisi. If we start to wash in a Gurdwara, we will become pure. Means that we're going to come here and get Naam. Because the only purity in Sikhi is from Naam. It's not physical purity. It is there. There is respect given to physical purity. But the real purity is of Naam. Tirath Naam na jao, Tirath Naam hai. The only way to become pure inside is from Naam. So Maharaj says that actually, if we start to forget Naam, if we start to forget what the Guru is really here for, then we will flounder in this world. We will get stuck in Punn, Paap, Beechaarde, and that is not what Sikhi is about. Sikhi is not about debating the rules, it's about going to the essence. So Maharaj says that without Guru, we will not get Surti, we will not get Vivek Buddhi. These two things are very important. Our consciousness needs to be raised up. Vivek Buddhi means what is important, what is not important. Sense of discrimination. Somebody said once, Sikhi is all about non-discrimination. I said no, Sikhi is all about discrimination. You got to discriminate between what is good and what is bad. Otherwise you're going to put all your time into something that is not good to you. So this Vivek Buddhi means to discriminate between what we really need. The Tat Saar, the real essence. Essence being Naam, Bani, Shabad. What Guru Sahib has been talking about in this. So imagine a tree, example now for tree. Because I talk about Sat Santok Vichar as the cake of Sikhi. I was talking to Gyani Kulwant Singh, I ran it past him. I said, what do you think about the cake? Sat Santok Vichar and Naam holding it together. He goes, you can do another example. He goes, what? You can use a tree. He goes, imagine a tree has three things we look for in a tree. We look for shade. And when it's hot outside, if a tree gives shade, it's helping people. Or they which we gun hega. It can also give fal, fruit. So it can feed us. But the tree can also have nice flowers and nice smell. Right? These three things are of benefit to a tree. Even the birds will sit on that tree then and enjoy it. But the tree without the roots is no good. If the tree has not got strong roots, it will die. The same for us. We can be dani people, we can be giving to people, like we're giving food away. We can be very cool, compassionate people, we can be giving chant to people. We can look good, we can smell nice. But if we haven't got the naam in our essence, asi bhi sukkai hai. The symbol Rukh Saraira, Maharaj said in Asa Diwar, that tree which is very tall and has very few leaves, it's very tall but it's no father because the shade doesn't come down and it has no fal. Na fal lage. There has no fal, it's no good to ide kam na aave pat, ide patte bhi kam nahi aande. So Maharaj says, Mittat neevi nanaka gun changyaiya tat. The real essence of all of this is to become mittha by nimrita. If in a Gurdwara we have naam and we have simran and we have humility. I'm going to talk about this because I met somebody today and he destroyed me. I was talking to him and I was in tears. Just met him for a little while, 20 minutes or so, and I was just destroyed. Because this person has so much nimrita. So much nimrita, I couldn't even look in his eyes. Inna aukha ho gaya siga. I know I wanted to touch his feet, I wanted to lie down at his feet. Inni chance gi ode vich. These Gurmukhs virle ke honde hage. We're so blessed to have them in our Panth. Recently somebody said this Panth, that the Panth is not ready for the Panj Pyare system. Somebody said to me, it's like taking a clean glass and putting it into dirty water. He said the Panth is full of dirty water because you can't get Panj Pyare out. When I met this thing today, there was 5 like you on this planet, we'd be in Sachkhand. And there will be 5 like him because there are people like him that come in the morning here at 4 a.m. and they do Simran. So, Maharaj is telling us that if we're going to have 3 things, I'll finish off very quickly. If we're going to have these 3 things in our life, what do we need to have? Sat, Santok and Vichar. What's Sat? The truth, which are the true qualities of Sat, Santok, Daya, Taram, Khema. If we have these true qualities in our life, if we bring truth into our life. Also Santok, if we bring contentment into our life. We stop running around all over the place. We calm down the fire within ourselves. And finally, we live our life with vichar. We think before we do anything. We think carefully. Vichar naal karke kariye. These 3 things means if we have naam with them, then we will be blessed in this life. In this life and the next life, we'll be blessed. So Maharaj says, Tehi guni sansar param sutta sutya rain vihani. The whole world is lost, it is spiritually unaware, is not woken up to truth. It's not woken up to these things. It hasn't got to the essence of this world. What is Naam, Bani? And what happens is, it gets stuck in the 3 guns. What are these 3 guns? I'm going to talk about it physically for us, what we need to do. Maharaj says, if you think about Rajogun, Rajo, Tamo, Satogun, these 3 guns, Rajogun is much about energy and power. So they start to pressurize people. They pressurize people all over the world. They say, you can't do this, you can't do that, you are under our control. This idea of keeping people pressurized down, this is Rajogun. People living Rajogun, they're overly political. Tamogun. Tamogun is all about pleasures of the body, physical pleasures. So these people are not concerned about pressurizing people or having power and money. They're more concerned about enjoying. They're not interested, they just want to enjoy their life. This Tamogun. And then Satogun, people that are overly intellectual, they get stuck in religious actions. So they wear the right clothes, they read the right Baniya, they do all the good things that you would say they're very religious. But inside, they haven't got these qualities that Maharaj is talking about. They haven't got Taram inside them. They haven't got Daya inside them. They don't really care about other people. They don't care. They don't care if people are learning about Sikhi as well. But parwah nahi hai unhanu. They just care ki sada kam base. So, these people, religious pundits keh lo, they control the world as well. It's happening all over, in every panth. Look at the Islam, they've got their leaders, they don't control about Daya. You see what's happening right now in Palestine? There's no compassion there for anything. 2 religions, both without compassion. Not Daya, not Taram. So what's happening? It's just Nark. It's just hellhole. That's what's happening to Palestine right now. So Maharaj says that if we don't forget this essence, Maharaj says, Gur kirpa te se jan jage, jinna har man vasya, bol hai amrit bani. If some people are blessed, then so those Jans, Jan meaning slaves, those humble people that become the slaves of the Guru, they get blessed to wake up. They wake up to what life is really about. Gur kirpa te se jan jage. With the Guru's blessings, they wake up. They are aware of what's inside them, that they are Atma. They are aware of the Hukam. The whole Hukam that was working, they become aware of that Hukam. And then, what happens to them? Bole Amrit Bani. They become Gurmukhs because Guru is on their mouth. And they speak the Bani all the time. This person today was speaking to me for 10-20 minutes. The whole time it was like Paath. Although he was speaking in English, the whole time was like Bani. I was just quiet. It was like Paath. Because his voice was Bole Amrit Bani. Because they have so much power inside them. Whatever they say comes like Amrit. Bani means speech. Their speech is like Amrit. It destroys people. It destroys their ego. It doesn't destroy the people, but it destroys their ego. And they can bring you to Vaheguru just with their words. What is Amrit Bani? It joins you to Vaheguru. Guru Di Bani is Amrit Bani, and the Gurmukh speech is Amrit Bani, because they can join you to Vaheguru there and then. Maharaj says, Kya hai Nanak so Upaae, Jisno andin har liv lage, Jagat rain vihani. Maharaj says, those people understand the essence of this world. So Upaae, the essence, Jisno andin har liv lage. Those people that are day and night, an and din. An means night, and din means day. Day and night, they are attached to Vaheguru in love. Andin har liv lage, Jagat rain vihani. Then they stay awake, and this rain vihani means that this life is described in Bani as a night. Yeah, it's one long night. And this long night, they stay awake the whole time. How does that mean? Obviously, physically, they do go to sleep. But what are they awake from? Awake from Maya. They're awake from Maya because Maya is coming to grab them even in their sleep. Suchet hoke jinde hage. Their whole life is living in awareness of Akal Purakh and being aware that they don't fall short. They don't fall short and get away from the Tat. They stay attached to Naam. Even in Naam you can get ego. So they are aware of their own ego. They even examine themselves all the time. Have I fallen into ego? Have I fallen into Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar? They're watching themselves. God is watching them and they are watching themselves as well. Yeah? They become an observer of their own life. So Mahaji Kirpa Naal, if we get Guru's Kirpa, then we can actually start to live this kind of life where we rise up from just base level arguments and start to look at the real tat of life. That Naam, Bani, Shabad, Vichar. And if that happens to us, this life will be blessed and our next life will be blessed because Guru Maharaj will do Kirpa upon us. And that Kirpa is all we're looking for. Karvada Kata Pulchuk Maaf Karni. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Vaheguru